What if I told you that the biggest witness in Zambia's most controversial political scandal has suddenly gone silent? Was it fear? Was it pressure? Or was it part of a bigger game? Tonight, we dig into the mysterious case surrounding Chabinga, the alleged mastermind caught in leaked audios, and why the silence of one key witness could change everything. From Lusaka to London, Washington to Johannesburg, this story is shaking corridors of power far beyond Zambia. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear will leave you questioning who really controls justice in Africa. The silence of Chabinga's key witness has raised new questions in Zambia's heated political drama. In this video, we break down what the leaked audios really reveal, why the witness went silent at the most crucial moment, how Lungu, HH, and Zambia's power struggles tie into this. The international angle. Is Washington or London quietly watching? This isn't just about one man. It's about how justice, politics, and hidden deals shape Africa's future. Watch till the end for shocking revelations that global media won't tell you. Zambia's new mystery unfolds. Zambia, a southern African nation known for its relatively stable democratic history, has been thrust into the spotlight by a controversial leaked audio recording allegedly involving Robert Chabinga, a prominent political figure, and other high-ranking officials. The audio, which surfaced in July 2025, has ignited debates about governance, transparency, and the integrity of Zambia's political and judicial systems. At its core, the controversy revolves around allegations of a government-sponsored plot to influence a South African court case concerning the burial of former President Edgar Lungu's remains. The scandal has raised questions about the rule of law, the use of artificial intelligence (AI) in political manipulation, and the broader implications for Zambia's international standing. This analysis delves into the key elements of the controversy: who Robert Chabinga is and why he is significant, the mysterious silencing of a key witness, the content and implications of the leaked audio, the political power games between President Hakainde Hichilema (HH) and the late Edgar Lungu's Patriotic Front (PF), the international dimensions involving the US and UK, and what this means for Zambia's justice system. The final section offers a critical analysis and a conclusion that ties together the threads of this complex saga. Who is Chabinga and why he matters? Robert Chabinga's background and political role. Robert Chabinga is a polarizing figure in Zambian politics, serving as the Member of Parliament (MP) from Afinga and the acting president of a faction of the Patriotic Front (PF), Zambia's former ruling party. The PF, led by Edgar Lungu until his death, has been embroiled in internal leadership disputes, with Chabinga emerging as a key player in one faction. His designation as the leader of the opposition in Zambia's National Assembly, despite his controversial status within the PF, underscores his political influence. However, his alignment with President Hakainde Hichilema's United Party for National Development (UPND) has made him a lightning rod for criticism, with detractors labeling him a golden child of lawlessness due to his alleged involvement in various scandals. Chabinga's significance stems from his strategic position in Zambia's political landscape. As a PF faction leader, he represents a segment of the opposition that appears to have close ties to the ruling UPND, raising questions about his loyalty and motives. His alleged role in the leaked audio, where he purportedly discusses a covert mission to influence a South African court, has amplified his notoriety. Critics argue that his proximity to Hichilema reveals a deeper flaw in the president's judgment, as Chabinga is described as a loudmouth, unable to maintain confidentiality. Why Chabinga matters? Chabinga matters because he embodies the intersection of Zambia's political divisions, where personal ambition, party loyalty, and state power collide. His alleged involvement in a plot to bribe a South African judge places him at the center of a scandal that threatens Zambia's diplomatic relations and domestic governance. His actions, whether authentic or fabricated, have sparked a national conversation about the ethics of political operatives and the extent to which the government may be complicit in undermining judicial independence, both domestically and abroad. Furthermore, his claim that the audio is AI-generated highlights the growing role of technology in shaping political narratives, making him a pivotal figure in a broader debate about truth and trust in the digital age. Chabinga's political maneuvering. Chabinga's rise within the PF has been contentious. He is accused of illegally assuming the party presidency, ignoring court orders, and leveraging his influence to secure the title of leader of the opposition. His critics, including fellow PF members like Emmanuel Mwamba, argue that his actions reflect a broader pattern of lawlessness enabled by his alleged ties to Hichilema. The leaked audio has intensified these accusations, portraying Chabinga as a political mercenary willing to undertake sensitive missions for personal or partisan gain. His defenders, however, argue that he is a victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by opposition factions desperate to discredit both him and the UPND government. Public perception and controversy. Public perception of Chabinga is deeply divided. Supporters view him as a pragmatic politician navigating Zambia's turbulent political waters, while detractors see him as a symbol of corruption and opportunism. Social media platforms, particularly X, have been ablaze with debates about his role in the audio scandal. Some users dismiss the audio as an AI-generated fake, while others insist it is genuine, citing the tone and phrasing as evidence. This polarization reflects broader tensions in Zambian society, where trust in political leaders and institutions is eroding amid allegations of corruption and manipulation. The witness who went silent. The mystery of the silent witness. One of the most intriguing aspects of the leaked audio controversy is the mention of a key witness who has reportedly been silenced. While the provided sources do not explicitly identify this witness, the context suggests that they are a critical figure with knowledge of the alleged plot to influence the South African court. The silencing of this witness, whether through intimidation, coercion, or other means, adds a layer of intrigue to the scandal, raising questions about the lengths to which political actors may go to suppress damaging revelations. Possible identity and role. Speculation about the witness's identity centers on individuals close to the alleged plot, such as government officials, PF insiders, or even South African contacts involved in the court case. One possibility is that the witness is someone within the Zambian government or the PF who possesses corroborating evidence, such as phone records, travel documents, or communications with South African authorities. Another theory is that the witness could be a whistleblower who initially leaked the audio but was subsequently pressured to retract their claims or disappear from the public eye. The lack of specific details about the witness's identity or the circumstances of their silencing suggests a deliberate effort to obscure the truth. In Zambia's polarized political climate, whistleblowers and witnesses often face significant risks, including threats to their safety or livelihoods. The government's refusal to comment on the audio and the ongoing investigation by the cybersecurity agency indicate that authorities may be working to contain the fallout, potentially at the expense of transparency. Implications of the silencing. The silencing of a key witness has profound implications for the credibility of the investigation into the leaked audio. If the witness was coerced or otherwise prevented from testifying, it undermines the rule of law and suggests a cover-up at the highest levels of government. This could further erode public trust in Zambia's institutions, particularly the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) and the Zambia Police, which have been criticized for their perceived lack of independence. The absence of the witness also complicates efforts to verify the audio's authenticity, as their testimony could provide critical context or evidence. Broader context of witness intimidation. Witness intimidation is not a new phenomenon in Zambia. Past scandals, such as the 2021 leaked audio involving Hichilema's political advisor Levi Ngoma, have highlighted the challenges of protecting whistleblowers in a politically charged environment. The Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act, which Chabinga has invoked to challenge the audio's authenticity, has been criticized as a tool to suppress dissent and silence investigative journalism. If the witness in the Chabinga case was indeed silenced, it could indicate a broader pattern of using legal and extra-legal means to control the narrative around politically sensitive issues. The leaked audio explained. Content of the leaked audio. The leaked audio, which surfaced on July 21, 2025, allegedly features a conversation between Robert Chabinga and Community Development Minister Doreen Mwamba. In the recording, Chabinga purportedly discusses a special assignment to influence a South African judge in a legal case concerning the burial of former President Edgar Lungu's remains. The case pits the Zambian government, which seeks to repatriate Lungu's body for burial in Zambia, against Lungu's family, who prefer burial in South Africa. Key points from the audio include alleged government involvement. Chabinga claims that President Hichilema personally contacted him, including making 12 phone calls to coordinate the mission. He alleges that the trip to South Africa was funded by the Zambian government and facilitated through the Zambian embassy. Judicial interference. Chabinga reportedly suggests bribing a South African judge to secure a favorable ruling. He mentions mobilizing protests and other tactics to pressure the court, exploiting legal loopholes that prioritize the deceased's family's wishes. Diplomatic implications. The audio implies that the operation was intended to ease diplomatic tensions but risked violating South African law, specifically the Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act and international standards like the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Internal government dynamics. The audio reveals discontent among UPND parliamentarians and cabinet members regarding other legislative issues, such as Bill 7, suggesting internal divisions within the ruling party. Authenticity debate. Chabinga has vehemently denied the audio's authenticity, claiming it was generated using AI and constitutes a criminal offense under Zambia's Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act. He has threatened legal action against those circulating the audio, including PF rival Emmanuel Mwamba and historian Sishiwa Sishiwa. However, some netizens and opposition figures argue that the audio is genuine, citing its tone and phrasing. The Cybersecurity Agency is investigating the audio's authenticity, but no conclusive findings have been released as of August 22, 2025. Legal and ethical concerns. Even if the audio is authentic, the mere discussion of bribing a foreign judge constitutes a serious offense under South African and international law. The allegations, if proven, could lead to contempt of court proceedings, diplomatic sanctions, and damage to Zambia's reputation within the Southern African Development Community (SADC). The audio also raises ethical questions about the UPND's commitment to its anti-corruption agenda, as it suggests that senior officials may be engaging in the very practices they publicly condemn. Public and political reaction. The audio has sparked a firestorm on social media and in the press. Opposition MPs, particularly from the PF, have demanded a government apology to South Africa, warning that the allegations could strain bilateral bilateral relations. Governance analysts and anti-corruption advocates have called for an independent investigation to verify the audio and hold those responsible accountable. Meanwhile, UPND supporters have dismissed the audio as a fabricated smear campaign by the opposition to destabilize Hichilema's government. Political power games. Lungu versus HH. The Hichilema-Lungu rivalry. The leaked audio must be understood within the context of the long-standing rivalry between President Hakainde Hichilema and the late Edgar Lungu, who led Zambia from 2015 to 2021. Hichilema's UPND defeated Lungu's PF in the 2021 general election, ending the PF's decade-long rule. The election was marked by accusations of corruption and mismanagement under Lungu, with Hichilema campaigning on a platform of transparency and economic recovery. Lungu's death and the subsequent legal battle over his remains have become a flashpoint in this rivalry. The Zambian government's insistence on repatriating Lungu's body is seen by some as an attempt to control the narrative around his legacy, while the Lungu family's resistance reflects deeper tensions between the PF and the UPND. The leaked audio suggests that Hichilema's administration may be willing to use extra-legal means to achieve its objectives, further inflaming these tensions. Chabinga's role in the power games. Chabinga's alleged involvement in the plot positions him as a pawn in the broader power struggle. His proximity to Hichilema and his leadership of a PF faction suggest that he may be acting as a bridge between the ruling party and elements of the opposition. Critics argue that Hichilema's reliance on Chabinga, a figure with a controversial reputation, reveals a willingness to prioritize political expediency over integrity. The audio's claim that Hichilema personally coordinated with Chabinga underscores the personal stakes in this rivalry, as the president seeks to consolidate power ahead of the 2026 elections. Opposition dynamics. The PF's internal divisions have complicated the opposition's response to the audio. Emmanuel Mwamba, a prominent PF figure, has distanced himself from Chabinga and called for investigations into the audio's content rather than its circulation. Other PF MPs, such as George Chisanga, have demanded a government apology to South Africa, framing the scandal as a threat to Zambia's international standing. These divisions weaken the opposition's ability to present a united front, allowing the UPND to deflect criticism and control the narrative. Implications for 2026 elections. The leaked audio has significant implications for Zambia's political landscape as the 2026 elections approach. The scandal could undermine Hichilema's credibility, particularly among voters who supported his anti-corruption agenda. Conversely, it may galvanize PF supporters and other opposition groups who see the audio as evidence of UPND's hypocrisy. The controversy also highlights the fragility of Zambia's democratic institutions, as allegations of corruption and judicial interference erode public trust. Global eyes on Zambia, US and UK angle. International interest in the scandal. The leaked audio has attracted attention beyond Zambia's borders, particularly from the United States and the United Kingdom, which have significant economic and diplomatic interests in the region. While the provided sources do not directly reference US or UK reactions to the audio, the potential violation of international anti-corruption standards, such as the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, could draw scrutiny from these global powers. US and UK economic interests. Zambia is a key player in the global copper market, and both the US and UK have invested heavily in its mining sector. The stability of Zambia's political and judicial systems is critical to maintaining investor confidence. Allegations of government-sponsored corruption and judicial interference could raise concerns about the rule of law, potentially affecting foreign investment and aid. The US, in particular, has emphasized anti-corruption measures in its foreign policy, and any evidence of state-sponsored bribery could prompt diplomatic pressure or sanctions. Diplomatic implications with South Africa. The audio's allegations of attempting to bribe a South African judge risk straining Zambia's relations with South Africa, a regional powerhouse and key SADC member. South African authorities may demand clarification or pursue legal action under their anti-corruption laws, which could lead to diplomatic tensions. The involvement of the Zambian embassy in the alleged plot further complicates bilateral relations, as it suggests official government complicity. SADC and African Union scrutiny. The Southern African Development Community, SADC, and the African Union, AU, are likely to monitor the situation closely, given the potential for the scandal to undermine regional cooperation and judicial independence. The SADC has emphasized good governance and the rule of law as core principles, and Zambia's actions could invite criticism or calls for accountability. The AU, which has ratified anti-corruption conventions, may also press Zambia to investigate the allegations transparently to preserve its international credibility. Global media and civil society. International media outlets, such as the BBC and Al Jazeera, have covered Zambia's political developments, though they have not yet reported extensively on the leaked audio. However, the scandal's international dimensions, particularly its implications for South Africa, could attract further coverage. Civil society organizations, including anti-corruption watchdogs like Transparency International, may also weigh in, urging Zambia to uphold its commitments to global anti-corruption standards. What this means for Zambia's justice. Erosion of public trust. The leaked audio has significant implications for Zambia's justice system, particularly in terms of public trust. If the allegations are proven true, they suggest that senior government officials are willing to undermine judicial independence, both domestically and abroad, for political gain. This could further erode confidence in institutions like the Anti-Corruption Commission, which has been criticized for its lack of autonomy under Hichilema's administration. The government's refusal to comment on the audio and the ongoing investigation's lack of transparency only deepen public skepticism. Challenges to judicial independence. The audio suggestion of bribing a South African judge raises serious concerns about Zambia's respect for judicial independence. If government officials are willing to interfere in foreign courts, it raises questions about their conduct in domestic cases. The PF has long accused the UPND of using the judiciary to target political opponents, and the audio could lend credence to these claims. An independent investigation, as called for by analysts, is essential to restore confidence in the judiciary. Legal accountability. The audio's allegations, if authentic, constitute potential violations of Zambian, South African, and international law. Zambia's Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act could be invoked if the audio is proven to be AI-generated, but if it is genuine, those implicated could face charges of corruption, abuse of office, or conspiracy. South Africa's Prevention and Combating of Corrupt Activities Act provides a legal framework for prosecuting attempts to bribe judges, even if the act was not completed. The failure to hold accountable those involved could set a dangerous precedent for future political behavior. Reforms and recommendations. To address the crisis, Zambia must take several steps. Independent investigation. An impartial commission, free from government influence, should investigate the audio's authenticity and the allegations it contains. Diplomatic clarification. The government should issue a formal statement to South Africa, clarifying its position and committing to cooperate with any inquiries. Strengthening institutions. The Anti-Corruption Commission and other oversight bodies must be granted greater autonomy to prevent political interference. Public transparency. The government should engage with the public openly, addressing concerns and providing updates on the investigation to rebuild trust. Final analysis and shocking conclusion. Critical analysis. The leaked audio scandal is a microcosm of Zambia's broader challenges: a polarized political landscape, a fragile justice system, and the growing influence of technology in shaping public discourse. Whether the audio is authentic or AI-generated, its impact is undeniable. It has exposed vulnerabilities in Zambia's governance, from the lack of transparency in political operations to the potential abuse of power by senior officials. The scandal also highlights the dangers of unchecked political ambition, as figures like Chabinga navigate the blurred lines between loyalty, opportunism, and lawlessness. The silencing of a key witness, though shrouded in mystery, underscores the high stakes of the controversy. If the witness was indeed coerced, it suggests a concerted effort to suppress the truth, raising questions about the government's commitment to accountability. The international dimensions of the scandal, particularly its implications for South Africa, could have far-reaching consequences for Zambia's diplomatic and economic relations. Shocking conclusion. The leaked audio is not just a scandal, it is a wake-up call for Zambia. If authentic, it reveals a government willing to compromise its principles for political gain, betraying the new dawn promised by Hichilema. If fabricated, it exposes the dangerous potential of AI to manipulate public perception and destabilize democracy. Either way, the scandal underscores the urgent need for systemic reforms to strengthen Zambia's institutions, protect judicial independence, and restore public trust. The true cost of this controversy may not be measured in diplomatic fallout or legal consequences, but in the erosion of Zambia's democratic ideals. The nation stands at a crossroads. Will it confront these challenges with transparency and accountability, or will it succumb to the shadows of power games and deception?